We finally have some news about SNAP benefits for November. And yes, there is an increase coming. But before you celebrate, we need to talk about what this really means. Because the situation is a lot more complicated than the headlines make it sound. If you're one of the 42 million Americans receiving SNAP benefits, you need to hear this right now. The USDA just announced they made a calculation error, and because of that error, you're going to receive 65% of your November food stamp benefits instead of the 50% they originally planned. I know. You're probably thinking, wait, why are we only getting 65% in the first place? And that's exactly what we need to talk about. I spent hours digging through the USDA reports, the court filings, and the state announcements so you don't have to. And I'm going to break down exactly what's happening, who's affected, and most importantly, what you need to do right now. Here's the situation. We are currently on day 37 of a government shutdown. Because of this shutdown, the Trump administration announced they would have to reduce SNAP benefits for November because they're running out of funding. Originally, they said benefits would be cut by 50%, meaning you'd only get half of what you normally receive. But then something happened. According to Patrick Penn, who oversees food and nutrition services at the USDA, including SNAP, they discovered a calculation error. In a court declaration filed late Wednesday, he said that maximum allotments for food stamp beneficiaries will now be reduced by only 35% instead of 50%. That means instead of getting 50% of your benefits, you'll get 65%. It's not great news, but it's better than what we were facing just 2 days ago. Here's what the official statement says. Recipients of federal food benefits under the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program will receive a higher portion of their monthly payments for November than initially expected. The reason? The Trump administration is fully depleting what's called the SNAP Contingency Fund to pay for these benefits. And they miscalculated how much money was actually in that fund. Let me show you what this actually means in real dollars, because this is where it gets real. For November, instead of receiving your normal benefits, here's what you'll get. A single person normally gets $298 per month. With the 35% reduction, you'll receive $193 instead of the $149 they originally planned. A family of 5 normally gets $183 per month. With the 35% reduction, you'll receive $769 instead of the $591 they originally planned. Now, let me be very clear about something. This is still a massive reduction. A family of 5 is losing over $400 in food assistance for the month. That's huge. But at least it's not as bad as losing $600, which is what the 50% cut would have meant. These numbers apply to 48 states and Washington, D.C. Alaska and Hawaii have different benefit amounts because food costs more in those states. Now, here's where things get messy, and this is what really concerns me. The problem isn't just the reduced benefits. The bigger problem is that payments may be delayed for weeks, especially in states like California. Why? Because the states have to recalculate everything based on this new 35% reduction instead of the 50% reduction. And here's what really worries me. The Justice Department told federal judges in Rhode Island that they realized this error and worked to issue new guidance and tables as soon as it was discovered. But getting that new information out to all 50 states, having them recalculate millions of individual benefit amounts, and then processing those payments. That takes time. Some households might receive 100% of their benefits. Some households might receive 0. Some might receive the 65%. The concern right now is that the system is so overwhelmed and confused that it's going to be really inconsistent about who gets paid when. If you don't receive your benefits by November 20th or 21st, which puts us 3 weeks into November, that's when I'd start to really worry about whether your benefits are coming at all. This affects all 42 million Americans who receive SNAP benefits. We're talking about single moms trying to feed their kids on a tight budget, veterans who served our country and are struggling financially, disabled individuals living on fixed incomes who can barely afford groceries as it is, seniors on Social Security who are already choosing between medication and meals, people who lost their jobs and are trying to find work during this economic uncertainty, college students working part-time while going to school, working families who need SNAP just to supplement their low wages. If you fall into any of these categories, this is going to impact you. And I want you to know that your frustration is completely valid. Let me explain what's really happening here, because there's more to this story. The USDA is using what's called the SNAP Contingency Fund to pay for November benefits. This is emergency money that's supposed to be used in situations exactly like this, when regular funding isn't available because of a government shutdown. But here's where it gets confusing. Different sources are reporting different numbers about how much money is actually in this fund. California Attorney General Rob Bonta said during a House Democrats event that the SNAP Contingency Fund has somewhere between $5 billion and $6 billion. But the cost for all eligible Americans to receive full benefits for November is $8 billion. According to the USDA previously, they actually need to spend about $9.2 billion. So why is there such a big gap? Why don't they know exactly how much money is in this fund? Well, according to reports, it's because the contingency funds aren't in just one bank account. They're spread out across different accounts and different programs. Nobody seems to know the exact amount available. And here's the second issue, and this is the one that really scares me for some households. That gap between $8 billion and $9.2 billion. Some experts are saying it's because of new eligibility requirements for SNAP beneficiaries. This is really important, so please listen carefully. Some people are reporting that we could see millions of people see a reduction in benefits because of changed eligibility requirements. Maybe you're making slightly too much money now. Maybe your household size decreased. Maybe your expenses changed. Maybe the state you live in has different rules. Because of these factors, some households that were theoretically receiving 100% of their benefits anyway could have already been reduced, and you might not even know it yet. That's the scary part. Once we see this 65% payout with the 35% reduction, we're going to realize very quickly who was actually receiving maximum benefits and who was not. Some people might discover they were already cut before this 35% reduction even happened. This is a massive problem, and it's going to cause a lot of confusion over the next several weeks. Here's something else we need to talk about that nobody's really addressing. We are currently on day 37 of this government shutdown. We're approaching the end of November. What happens on December 1st? If the government doesn't reopen, where is the money coming from for December SNAP benefits? The Trump administration has made it very clear they are going to fully deplete the SNAP Contingency Fund for November. That means there's no backup money for December. How are 42 million Americans going to receive any type of nutrition assistance if we don't have the money to fund it and the government is still shut down? That's the question nobody has answered yet. This isn't just about getting through November with reduced benefits. This is about wondering whether there will be any benefits at all come December if things don't change. I want to talk about something that's not in the official announcements but is absolutely happening right now. Food banks across the country are being absolutely overwhelmed. They're seeing record numbers of people requesting additional food, additional items, more water, more everything. And it's not just SNAP recipients. It's everyone struggling because food has become so expensive. The food banks themselves are struggling because they don't have enough donations coming in to meet this increased demand. So even if you wanted to supplement your reduced SNAP benefits by visiting a food bank, you might find that they're running low on supplies too. This is creating a perfect storm where people need more help than ever, but all the support systems are being stretched to their breaking point at the same time. Okay, let's get practical. Here's exactly what you need to do. Number 1, don't panic yet, but do pay close attention to when your benefits arrive. Check your EBT card balance every day starting now. If you don't see your benefits by November 20th or 21st, that's when you need to start making phone calls to your state SNAP office. Number 2, talk to other people you know who receive SNAP benefits in your state. Ask them if they've received their November benefits. If they say no, you're all in the same boat. It's just a processing delay. If they say yes and they got theirs a week ago, but you still haven't received yours, that's when I'd be more concerned. There might be an issue with your specific case. Number 3, start planning now for how you'll stretch 65% of your normal benefits. That means making a detailed meal plan for the entire month, buying in bulk when possible, focusing on affordable protein sources like beans, eggs, and chicken, shopping at discount stores like Aldi or dollar stores, using every coupon you can find, looking for managers' specials on meat and produce. Number 4. Find your local food banks and community resources right now. Don't wait until you run out of food. Get that information now so you're prepared if you need extra help. Many food banks also have fresh produce, not just canned goods. Number 5. If your financial situation has changed recently, you lost work hours, your rent went up, you have new medical expenses, contact your SNAP office immediately. You might qualify for a higher benefit amount even with these reductions. Number 6. Look into farmers market matching programs in your area. Some farmers markets will double your SNAP dollars when you buy fresh fruits and vegetables. That's real money stretching right there. I want to be honest with you, because you deserve honesty. This situation is not okay. The fact that 42 million Americans are worried about whether they can feed their families is not okay. The fact that the government is so disorganized that they don't even know how much money is in their emergency fund is not okay. The fact that there's been a 37-day shutdown that's putting people's basic needs at risk is not okay. Your frustration is valid. Your fear is valid. Your anger is valid. But I also want you to hear this. You are not lazy for needing help. You're not failing because you're struggling to afford groceries. This is a systemic problem, not a personal failure. And while 65% of your benefits is still a reduction, it is better than 50%. I know it's hard to see the silver lining when you're stressed about feeding your family, but that extra 15% could mean a few more meals. It could mean your kids don't go to bed hungry one extra night. We take the wins we can get, even when they're smaller than they should be. Here's what I'm watching for, and what you should watch for too. First, we need to see if these payments actually arrive, and when. The next 2 weeks will tell us a lot about whether the states can handle this recalculation, or if there are going to be major delays. Second, we need to watch what happens with the government shutdown. If it continues past November, we're going to have an even bigger crisis on our hands in December. Third, keep an eye on any news about additional emergency funding or changes to SNAP eligibility requirements. Things are changing fast, and you need to stay informed. I'll be making more videos as this situation develops. I'll keep reading the reports, watching the court filings, and breaking down the news so you don't have to. Here's my final advice to you. Don't just look at your own benefits. Build community. Talk to your neighbors, your friends, your family members, who are also on SNAP. Share information. Share resources. Share what's working for you. If you find a good sale, tell someone. If you discover a food bank with fresh produce, spread the word. If you learn about a program that matches SNAP dollars, help others find it too. We get through hard times by helping each other. And remember, this is temporary. Government shutdowns end. Benefits get restored. Things get better. It might not feel like it right now when you're worried about feeding your family next week, but you will get through this. You're stronger than you think. You're more resourceful than you give yourself credit for. And you're not alone. If this video helped you understand what's really happening with SNAP benefits, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. I make videos like this every single week to help you navigate government benefits, understand policy changes, and find resources that can help you. Drop a comment below and let me know. Have you received your November SNAP benefits yet? What state are you in? How are you planning to stretch your benefits this month? I read every single comment, and your experiences help other people in the same situation. Also, check out my other videos on maximizing your SNAP benefits and finding free food resources. I'll link to those in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves.